Assalamu alaikum. This is our second episode of Digital Transformation Post-COVID Days. Today, the first guest is Sardar Abubakr. He is Chief Digital Officer of Telenor. And welcome on board, Abubakr. How are you doing?
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. And thank you, Dr. Farah, for inviting me. Happy to be here.
That's great. So let me put my first question to you. Were you guys prepared for this kind of crisis that we are facing right now in Pakistan?
No, I don't think, to be very candid, I don't think anyone in the world was prepared for COVID-19. जब हम traditional अपनी risk management देखते हैं across the world and also in telcos, you don't usually factor in the risk of pandemics. The honest response is no. The preparedness for such a pandemic that affects global supply chains was not factored in, but there are a lot of learnings there that I'd be happy to share.
Right. But my exposure with Telenor is that you guys were talking about digital transformation for the last 15 years. Well, on and off, you guys have been doing a lot of things. So itna background hone ke bawajood, and as you correctly pointed out, still we were not that prepared. So what are the key learnings then? Which we have made during this period, and how do you think that we will be taking it forward?
When Dr. Farah, when you talk about digitization, so there are numerous benefits of that. And of course, when you're doing digitization, you're not doing it with the perspective that it will come in handy in the case of a global pandemic, for instance. However, if there's one single truth, it is that digitization of internal processes and customer-facing processes is the way to go. And I think this is the biggest learning. Companies that have been slow towards digitization or who have only viewed digitization as an app. ये भी एक है ना डॉक्टर फरा के अक्सर कंपनीज में समझा जाता है कि डिजिटाइजेशन जो है वो still एक ऐप है और बस उसके अलावा कुछ भी नहीं है. But I think our key learnings here are that some of the preparations that we did make for digital transformation, even though they were not aimed at mitigating a pandemic risk, they are coming in handy. So the internal transformation that we've done in terms of way of work. So for instance, our employees are able to connect remotely through Microsoft Teams, Viju, and other collaboration tools. We're able to have remote town halls with the entire organization, engagement activities, and also our internal digital processes. So how do we automate our supply chain, our interactions between us and business partners? All of those preparations are really now coming in handy because, to be honest, we can't get to work. At the same time, a lot of companies are trying to now step up their focus on external transformation, customer facing. Or usme, alhamdulillah, we positioned ourselves well. So our efforts have been to try and ensure that our customers can avail our services. So digital recharge bahut badh gaya. So now people are able to top up their balance through bank accounts, through mobile wallets, through e-commerce platforms. So that's the biggest change that we've seen now. We've also seen regulators taking some steps. So we've seen the SPP, making transactions free for IBFT and other numerous steps. So I think the essence of what I'm saying, Dr. Farah, is that the digitization preparation is really helpful now. But today it's all about accelerating that. It's about accelerating that, what more you can deliver towards customers that is seamless, and at the same time, how you can digitize internal processes.
True. So one other angle over here is, as you've said, that you guys were ready, for this connect between your company, Telenor, and the customer. But then, as you also pointed out, that people just think about the app, which is just the front end. And the back end actually is the most important thing because that's gonna keep it really functional. So what are your key learnings, especially with regard to the back end? Because now the teams are not, of course, in office. People are working from home. That's a huge challenge in front of us. So what are your key learnings in that aspect?
Okay, first off, Dr. Farah, I'd like to mention here that in a time like this, when we are speaking about digital transformation, सबसे ज़रूरी for us as Telenor is about our brand promise. Again, this is an opportunity for us to ensure that we stay connected with our customers, and that goes across industries. How a company can step up its contribution as a responsible corporate citizen, how it can step up its contribution in terms of staying connected to customers and ensure that the customers, many of them survive on our services as a lifeline today, because you cannot meet your loved ones. So they're using our connectivity services, our digitization services. A lot of businesses are relying on our B2B portfolio. So how we create that closer connection with our customers and have a very authentic brand promise is probably the most important learning. And this is something that is very true to Telenor's DNA, because we do talk about empowering society. That's number one. Number two, I think the biggest learning we've had on a customer-facing basis is that there's a lot we can do in terms of digital customer care. The whole modus operandi of people calling up the call center to resolve complaints is being disrupted. Now, through My Telenor app and other self-service tools, customers can actually resolve their problems themselves. And I think giving customers that empowerment makes them feel more empowered, powerful, and in control. And I think at the same time, internally, अगर मैं दो examples दूं, तो शुरू में टेक्नोलॉजी की टूल्स की अडॉप्शन में ना थोड़ा सा डर लगता है. माइक्रोसॉफ्ट ऑफिस 365 आए या टीम्स आए, जब आप फिजिकल मीटिंग्स कर सकती है ना डॉक्टर फराद, तो लोग कहते हैं यार छोड़ो, क्या कौन ये टूल इस्तेमाल करते हैं, जाके इससे गप लगाते हैं, और उसकी एक अपनी वैल्यू है. But at the same time, now we see that people are forced to learn, and then they learn very fast. They are able to adapt, and that's humans history. We're able to adapt over time to new conditions. So people are now adapting to the new collaboration tools that we have in place. But it's important then that you understand the full functionality of those tools. You understand the full, what can we achieve, what kind of products and projects can we actually run using those tools. So that's been important.
I think this is a very good insight, and we have been talking about it at this time where you cannot meet with people in a physical environment, so you're forced to change your behavior. And we all understand changing behavior is the most difficult thing for any corporation, for that matter, whether it is for the external customer or whether it is for the internal customer. So have you seen that change happening inside Telenor, because people were forced? I'm sure you have seen it to some extent. What is your take on it? People will remain comfortable with this digital interaction, or will they switch back to their physical environment where they had where they were very comfortable? And I'm just thinking, so right now you see I'm doing this program and we are digitally connected. What if this is no corona days, would we be still preferring this kind of interaction? Over to you, Abubakar.
Okay, Dr. Farah, I think it is a bit of a mix and match. If you speak to a lot of employees who are more introverts, they are actually enjoying this. वो कहते हैं जी इंसानियत हमें पहले ही पसंद नहीं थी, लोगों से मिलना जुलना पहले ही अच्छा नहीं लगता था, तो ये बड़ा अच्छा हो गया हमारे साथ. We're able to be more flexible and do our own thing without having to meet and greet. At the same time, I think broadly there is no substitute for actually meeting face to face. So we cannot deny that. Having said that, for employees who are going to change, what we do realize is that the company's vision of digital transformation becomes even more powerful now. So employees are gelling together because of what we are trying to do in terms of contributing to society and enabling our services to be available to our customers digitally. उसकी वजह से एक sense of pride, एक sense of bonding, एक sense of empowerment बढ़ गई है organization में. I have to be very candid around that. So whether that is our contributions in terms of offering digital health solutions, whether it is our contributions in terms of partnering with people like your esteemed self on digital education, that is the future, because more and more customers now will want to subscribe to and avail services digitally. So wo habit to rahegi. I don't see that habit going away now, because customers get used to a certain product and certain way of consuming that product. And I think when they find it relevant and convenient, that will increase. So I don't see that going down post-COVID. Internal way of work, I do see that we will go back to the workplace, but more and more functions internally will run digitally. More and more processes will be run on an automated basis. Now we've even tested as a telco running our network operation center offline remotely. You would say that the NOC was the holy grail, which would run 24/7 with people staffed in the office, and the telco professionals who are listening would subscribe to that. But it's actually been proven that we can even run that digitally. The call centers, we can empower call center agents to work from home. So I think some of those business model shifts internally we will see, but I don't believe that internally we will go 100% digital just yet.
All right. No, I also don't want it to go this way because again, human interaction is very important. Physical interaction is also very important. But do you also think this way that, for example, an organization like me, I'm literally thinking that perhaps I don't need to incur this kind of a cost, because when you are in a physical space, there is a cost involved in it. But if you can do a lot of work digitally, so which means that you're also lowering down your cost. Telenor as a big organization, and you guys have awesome office, by the way. I've been there several times, and it's a beautiful place. I'm sure some of you might be missing that. I don't know. But is there any consideration in terms of cost as well? That physical spaces, they have their own cost. So what is your take on that?
Again, I'm not going to deny. So there is obviously a cost advantage of digitization. However, if I'm being very candid, Dr. Farah, any digitization initiative in a telecom sector specifically, but also in all other sectors, any digitization initiative that is pitched as a cost reduction initiative internally within a large machinery is doomed to fail. It's bound to fail. The reason why I say that is that as a change management, it's very important to talk about the benefits that digitization avails, the productivity gains. And yes, to be very transparent with the organization in terms of how it can, reprioritize focus areas. So maybe we were focusing manually on a lot of things, and we would take skills from that and reposition them in another domain that becomes more important. SMEs or businesses ke liye, there is huge advantage of digitization because they do feel that they can save costs. And let's not forget, SMEs will be the hardest hit of what is happening right now. And the organizations that can actually come back and adapt to the new normal of using digital IT infrastructure, customer journeys, are going to be the ones that are going to be able to survive. So yes, there is a huge benefit for organizations. But at the same time, when you're pitching it internally, it's important to be authentic, but also talk about the benefits to customers and the benefits to employees.
It makes a lot of sense. But as you've said, it's like a new normal. So a lot of activities will be defined as new normal. So there is a question, and because we have talked about new normal. So people would be asking us, these questions that how do we define this new normal? So what would be your take on that?
Yeah, I always say this: the human species, after a period of time, starts adapting. So the new normal is around digitization and adaptability. Those two words, because digitization pehle se chal rahi thi. Globally, we were able to consume services that were being offered anywhere. Businesses were able to launch digitally. Platforms were able to become global phenomenon. So that is not a product of COVID, but it will be accelerated by COVID for sure. That is not going away, number one. Number two, adaptability. Adaptability in terms of how organizations set up their internal processes, their customer-facing processes, but also in terms of leadership styles. And I think that's going to be important. People will be more open now to risks, and the risk management is going to become more robust. बहुत सी organizations में, Dr. Farah, risk management would fail because people would have egos, people would not be willing to listen, and people would just do a quarterly risk management as a tick box rather than having an always-on approach to risk management. Hopefully that changes, and then organizations become more adaptable. So digitization and adaptability, I think, would be the new normal going forward.
All right. So with this note, let me invite our other guest. So he's joining. So Shaukat Ali Khan is joining us from all the way Copenhagen right now. But he is Chief Information Officer of University of Central Asia. This university is one of the leading universities of 3 countries of Central Asia. And I'm very happy that he is with us. So he can also talk about the new normal. And then, of course, I will ask him to tell us what is happening at the University of Central Asia. How are they defining this digitization, and how are they taking their journey forward in the Central Asian states? But my first question, Shaukat, to you is that because one of our audience here, they have thrown this question to us. What are your thoughts of this new normal post-COVID? Jay.
Thank you very much, Dr. Farah, for inviting me, and Assalamu alaikum, everyone. I think I fully agree with what Sardar said, that the new normal is digitization and then agility. I think this goes in everywhere. For example, the new normal will be that to redefining our roles and responsibilities within the organization, to redefining the areas which areas need the workplace, and then which can be done outside, and then how adaptable with our new world. I don't think that we will be going back in 15 days or 1 month to the complete normal state. I think it will take a lot of time, and then that will be a new normal. But interesting part is that in this new world, no one is ahead or behind. We all are doing by learning. So I think I have a lot of talks with the people in North America. I mean, here in Europe, and also in Central Asia, Pakistan. Everybody is trying to adopt based on what's happening, because there's so much uncertainty, and then continuing with the business is actually as a combined challenge for everyone. But having said that, I think the digitization part, the value and then the role of digitization is very, very important nowadays compared to anything before.
All right, cool. So you are, of course, associated to a university, and this university is not only just in one country. Actually, this university has its network in 3 countries in the Central Asia. So how do you see this whole digitalization process first, coming along within your own setup, and then coming along at a larger scale at the Central Asia? Jay.
Sure. And what I can do is that I will just take 1-2 minutes to introduce what university I'm talking about, and then I will answer your question as a part of it also. So the University of Central Asia was founded in 2000 as a private, not-for-profit secular university under an international treaty signed by the presidents of Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and Kazakhstan, and His Highness the Aga Khan, ratified by their respective parliaments and registered with the United Nations. The university is a unique institution of higher education focused on the development of mountain societies, with the School of Arts and Sciences campuses in Narin, Kyrgyzstan, and Korog, Tajikistan, designed by award-winning architect Haraka Isozaki. The Tekeli campus in Kazakhstan is currently in the planning phase. UCA's Graduate School of Development has 3 research institutes, and its School of Professional and Continuing Education, SPCE, has graduated over 150,000 learners since 2006. So it's part of the Global Aga Khan Development Network, which is operating in around 35 countries with around 80,000 employees. Having said that, as you can see that we are operating in around 3 founding states, and also Afghanistan, with around 15 locations where we are operating. We have training centers and all those things. So in one way, we were always doing remote working for other centers, for example. But of course, what has happened now is that on a 2-day notice, our whole headquarters, for example, which is based in Kyrgyzstan, we have to go working from home model, and that is something completely new. But as Sardar already mentioned, this was an opportunity that everybody has to adopt, because there was no other way. But the good part was, because we had a lot of focus in technology in our institution, and then that was one of our priorities. So we were already working from last 2 years on digitizing the whole university and all its institutions. What this means is that we were able to use all the tools which are available. For example, for our university, we were using the learning management system, Moodle. We were using Zoom, Teams, and all these collaboration tools. So, and then we were already working on increasing our VPN access so that people can access our infrastructure from outside. We were already working with our security mechanism so that we can bring a lot of security when people working from outside. So all these things were going on, but of course we were not ready about the pandemic. It just came and then hit all of us together. But because of our all those preparations we were doing from last 2 years, it actually is us to go into that direction. And then we were able to manage within a couple of days that everybody was working from home, and then they're collaborating each other as a departments. And I think there was no big issue on that part. But at the same time, in our university, we have undergraduate programs. So one of our campus has been closed because of from the government directive in Kyrgyzstan. But in Tajikistan, our campus is still running. And then there we had faculty who were outside Tajikistan due to various reasons. So they are taking classes online through digital learning mechanism. And then there were students who were not able to join the campus. So they are taking digital distance learning programs. And also we have almost every year 20,000 students who are taking short courses in our School of Professional and Continuous Education. And we have now put many of those students into distance learning program, because Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Afghanistan, all these countries are now on a lockdown state, and then everybody is working from home. So we are doing good, but of course we are learning by doing, and this is something we are, when I'm interacting with my counterparts in other universities in North America and also in Europe, they are also doing. So we are learning from each other. We are just doing learning by doing on a regular basis.
Yeah. So again, there are sad times that everybody is like locked in their houses, but at the same time, these are exciting times. As you've said that perhaps all the universities, all the organizations have some kind of equal level playing field, despite provided they were prepared for it. So right now, 3 organizations representatives are sitting here, myself, Abubakr, and Shaukat. We were the organizations which were working in the field of digitalization in one way or the other. And we made this transition. Of course, there were some hiccups, but not many. So the day I decided that we are going, off the campus because our office is inside Lams, there wasn't much problem for us. But then there are many other organizations which have faced a lot of problems. So let's start taking up the questions, because we are comfortable with digitalization, and therefore we are sitting over here, and we have also talked about our journey. But perhaps many other of us, they need to learn new skills as well. So there is a question, and I'm showing it in front of you guys. So yeah, people are talking about perhaps we need to learn new skills, to adjust ourselves to the new world of digitalization. By the way, Azhar Aslam is representing Islamic Banking of Standard Chartered. He's actually CEO of that. So see, a lot of organizations perhaps were not ready, and of course, Standard Chartered is one of those which was active in digitalization. So, what is your take, Abubakr? So, what is your take? And then I'll go to Shaukat. Ji.
For employees, I think softer skills first, because you're unable to meet people, and then at the same time you're going to be required to still give presentations to stakeholders. You're going to be required to communicate, get projects delivered, and I think that will require a different level of understanding of how to communicate with your audience. And I think on a softer skills element basis, it's really important that we don't lose the ability to still communicate informally with people. हमारा ये होता था ना कि जब मीटिंग शुरू होती थी तो थोड़ा सा हमारे यहाँ पाकिस्तान में सलाम दुआ, getting to know, and that kind of goes away. And what I find more is that employees and leaders are only talking to their people, their divisions, their employees, their leaders. I think it's going to be really important for employees to adapt by picking up the phone, calling up their colleagues from other units who they would collaborate with, but not necessarily have a chance to talk with every day. So softer skills are going to be important. Number 2, the ability to use collaboration tools and IT tools, the ability to get the full benefit of those tools, चाहे वो Microsoft Teams है, चाहे वो Zoom है, चाहे वो Video है, whatever collaboration tools you're using, to be able to derive the maximum benefit in terms of productivity and efficiency. I think that's going to be important. The third is definitely to continue to upskill for yourself. बहुत सारी training programs now are not going to be held in classrooms, in physical classrooms. There are a number of educational programs that are of high caliber and quality. Dr. Farah, you're leading such an activity, and also you have the US and Ivy League institutions with a number of free courses. So I think we cannot outsource our development. So I always say that an employee cannot wait on their leader to develop them for them. You have to take that responsibility yourself. And that will mean now upskilling digitally through digital courses and skills.
Right. Now over to Shaukat. What's your take on it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree with Sardar. Just adding two more points. One is, of course, from the communication point of view, which was already said. It's very, very important now. Yesterday, I was talking with my colleagues, and then I was telling them that in your emails, the politeness should come out, because you are not in front of them. Whatever you are saying is pretty direct. You have to think about that part, and then how you can make use of all this technology for collaborating and connectivity part. I think that is a skill set we all need to learn, and we all need to increase. At the same time, because I'm from the academia and from the university, for the universities in Pakistan, for example, there are so many opportunities now. For example, we recently collaborated with the UiPath. It's a world-renowned company for the robotic process automation. Their university alliance programs are offering free education for robotic automation for all the universities. So students can, wherever they are, they can learn. We have recently partnered with Clavis, another data mining company in Germany. They are offering all the courses for free to University Alliance program. We have recently signed with SAP for the University Alliance program. All the industry with relates to HR, finance, whatever you call it, after a graduate come out to a company, all these things you can do on their alliance program. So I think what is important is that, yes, we have all, we need to work on our skills to keep up, but at the same time, there are a lot of opportunities this new world brought. That is the access to the education, access to the quality courses are more easier than before.
Yeah, true. There is another interesting question here, and let me throw it to us. So, which would be the better business, post COVID-19 you predict, please? So because you see, so we are talking about reskilling, upskilling. So, do you think that there will be some kind of disruption in terms of different kinds of opportunities that people will have, in future, especially in this post-COVID-19 days? Over to Abubakar. Yeah.
Okay, Dr. Farah, very quickly, first off, I don't think, unfortunately, COVID is going to go away immediately. So the post-COVID scenario, full post-COVID scenario may be some time away. Okay, I think what we see today is that companies that rely on digital business models are the ones that are going to be more successful. चाहे वो आपकी delivery companies हैं right now, चाहे वो आपकी video conferencing companies हैं, चाहे वो एक large machinery like a telco offering, entertainment and content services, and even their traditional services through digital channels, जहाँ पे वो product एक phone के जरिए subscribe कर सकते हैं, unsubscribe कर सकते हैं, और wallet के जरिए उसकी payment कर सकते हैं. I think the ones that rely and whose cost structures and business proposition is based on lean digital business models, any such company in any such sector is going to succeed. And I really encourage startups here, because the opportunities now we have in the digital health space, digital fintech, digital education space are immense. And I truly believe that digitization is a great equalizer. It takes privilege away. It gives everyone equal opportunities to run with their business ideas.
Yeah, true. Over to you, Shaukat. Yeah.
I think in my view, what is important at the moment for all the newcomers who wanted to do a new business. So think about very simple solutions which can enable, because they can बहुत सारे लोग who are used to technology, they are using the technology. But I think the biggest jump is all the people who are not used to use technology, they are now using technology. What will attract them? If we will have a simple solutions, make it simple solutions, come up with startups, and then see the problem. There are so many problems around us, and technology is just pick one problem and then find a solution, simple solution of that, and then make it easier for the user. And I think there is so much potential in this part, because you will see that gradually it will even increase. Last 2 weeks, Microsoft only, they increased their Microsoft Teams and 775% of their overall consumer goods. So I think there's so much happening in this world, and then you can see all the trends around.
Right, guys, my last question. Interestingly, now this is not the reason that I'm not using Zoom. I just like the interactivity of this platform, therefore I'm using. So this whole digitization has a security issue as well. So yeah, over to Abubakar. Yes.
देखिए ये issue, like I said, digitization pre-COVID भी information security का हमेशा से था, and I always say information security is another skill that will always be in demand in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So employees and students who want to get into that, it's a growing field. It is a big opportunity and also a challenge. There's a big challenge towards the information security hierarchy and the way information security is run in organizations. The organizations that are more traditional, or वो समझती हैं information security सिर्फ information security department की जिम्मेदारी है, they will fail. Their data will be compromised, customer, employee data. The ones that are able to now democratize information security, आप कहें कि जी जिम्मेदारी जो है हर employee की है, हर employee को online trainings कराएं information security की basic concepts की, उनको dashboards का access दें, उनको visibility दें of the risks that the organization now faces, and the way if we're able to create collective ownership, then information security risks can be better managed. The ones जो समझते हैं कि सिर्फ information security officer की जिम्मेदारी है, वो फिर खतरे में रहेंगे ज़्यादा.
Yeah, over to Shaukat. Yes, what's your take on it?
Yeah, I think it's a very valid question, and then I will just quote from Microsoft. At least 60,000 COVID-19 themed malicious email attachments and URLs are logged by Microsoft a day around the world. So that's what's happening at the moment. So I think at the moment, what I would suggest is that as much as we are going digital, we are more and more vulnerable. So I think it's a three-pronged approach we need to do. Number one is the awareness. We need to know that where we need to touch, where we don't need to open any all those basic security things. The second one is how is our infrastructure, what additional tools we require on that part. And then the third one is just follow the trends of what's happening so that we can adopt our security plans accordingly. So I think it's a challenging world with a lot of opportunities, but a lot of challenges. So I think it's the important part is that we just need to keep an eye on it and then go with the adaptability.
I completely agree with you. So now it's time to wrap up our discussion. I think the major takeaway for me, what my guests have told us, one is, of course, the whole process of digitalization. You simply cannot say no to it, whether you like it or not. The second thing is the agility. As you both have talked about it, how quickly you can adapt it, how agile you are, how agile your processes are. And the third and the most important, exciting thing is that we all are learning. And when there is an environment where we all are learning, that means that we all are now kind of becoming pro to innovation. Because when you will start learning, then you will start doing new things. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining me. And I'm looking forward to more insights from our next program, which is going to be on the same time and on the next Saturday. Take care and have a safe day.
Thank you. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you.
Stay safe and stay home.
Yeah.
Thank you.